This is WB17 News at 10.
I'm Karen Thomas at the Jersey Shore. Heavy rain means beach erosion. I'll have a live report.
Turbulence kills a woman on board a flight to Hawaii. We'll take a closer look at what happened.
And one of the most popular drugs for nasal congestion is being yanked from your pharmacy shelf. The Fox 10 o'clock news starts now.
Minor to moderate flooding and warning folks to move their cars to higher ground before retiring for the night.
If you live in low-lying areas, you're usually, this is a routine thing. You know where it is that you flood, and, you know, you should just, you do this through each storm.
And for many long-time residents, storms like this are the price you pay for life at the beach.
This, I think it's what I expected. Okay, but thank God it's not hail or sleet or snow.
The waves were cracking here at last time at the storm.
For the Jersey Shore, this is the third nor'easter of the season. Two earlier ones washed away the beach in Sea Isle City and nearly took a row of condominiums as well.
They were 5 feet from that back step there.
Just Wednesday, city workers finished a $165,000 beach replenishment project that should protect the homes this time around.
What we're worried about is the rain and the wind at the same time. If the wind comes and there's no rain, or if the rain comes and there's no wind, we're pretty good.
A number of smaller streets have been flooded, and Black Horse Pike in and out of Atlantic City has been closed as a result. The bridge tolls were lifted tonight during high tide and will be again tomorrow morning from 7 to 9 to keep the traffic running smoothly. Live in Sea Isle City, I'm Wendy Dockenbaugh. Steve?
Thank you, Wendy. Philadelphians also have had windy, rainy weather to contend with tonight, but nothing like down the shore. A driving rain forcing drivers to slow down a little on City Avenue tonight. Temperatures above freezing have so far kept the highways from any icing problems. Now, whenever there's a good rain, there are chances that some of the usual spots will flood. Route 30 in Camden, for example. Tonight, no different. A section of that highway near Baird Boulevard closed to traffic because of flooding. And it was a mess today in much of the South. Folks in the Atlanta area woke up to an unusual sight: snow. Georgia, the Carolinas, eastern Kentucky could get 18 inches. Mississippi and Alabama all got hit, anywhere from a dusting to several inches in most places, enough to make roads treacherous throughout the South. Taking a wider look, the storm has brought a mix of conditions throughout Pennsylvania and New Jersey. Our Julie Bologna joins us now from the Weather Center with the latest on the storm. Julie?
Steve, we're looking at all rain for Philadelphia and most of the Delaware Valley. There is some colder air getting ready to make its way in here by tomorrow, but in the meantime, mild temperatures. Let's take a closer look across the Northeast. All that moisture moving into the northeastern part of the United States as our area of low pressure now is just off the New Jersey shore. It's deepening, it's strengthening. We even have reports of thunderstorms throughout northern New Jersey. And then, as you see, another batch of moisture in western Pennsylvania and West Virginia. That's all snow, possibly heavy at times. Take a look at some of these rainfall totals. We're looking at almost a half of an inch in Millville, 0.62 for Philadelphia, more as you move southward and westward. Let's see what's happening later on. Tune in, I'll have more details coming up. Steve.
Thank you, Julie.
To protect Sea Isle beaches from erosion permanently. But Chuck knows Mother Nature is really in control.
Mother Nature's going to take its course no matter what you do. I mean, you can keep putting sand there, but Mother Nature will be the final decider of how far inland she wants to go.
Now, Chuck Schneller and his neighbors down there in Sea Isle City say the beach erosion problem there is critical. They intend to watch this storm throughout the night. Meanwhile, here in Ventnor and Margate, drivers are asked by city officials to stay off the roads because the side streets really are flooded, and you really don't know you're in trouble until you actually are in the middle of all that rising water. Reporting live from Ventnor, I'm Karen Thomas. Back to you in the studio.
All right, thank you, Karen. Be careful out there. Rich?
The storm that's pounding us with rain tonight is the same one that's dumping snow on the south. Georgia, the Carolinas, even as far south as Mississippi and Alabama all got a heavy dose of snow today, and there's more to come. 4 inches could fall in parts of North Carolina, up to 8 inches on parts of South Carolina. Meanwhile, in Atlanta, planes had no trouble getting in and out of the nation's second busiest airport, but many travelers were left stranded anyway because other airports in the south were closed due to the snow. It's rain, not snow, that's causing problems in Florida tonight. Much of the state is getting hit by wind-driven rain, gusts up to 40 miles an hour. Today's rain marks the second straight day Florida's been hit. One storm over the weekend triggered a tornado that destroyed about 100 homes.
It wasn't a storm, but
but we have, what, 1.5 inches or more rain just in Atlantic City alone, Julie?
Yeah, that's part of the state getting hard hit with some rain. Actually now getting a break from the rain, and I'll get into all that in a moment. Meantime, yes, rain event for Philadelphia. Temperatures at this time on the mild side, actually reaching our high temperature just last hour. 43 the high, the low 27. Right now we are still in the 40s. 42 degrees is the current reading right here in Philadelphia. Humidity very high, 96. You may see some areas of fog tonight as well. And so far in the rain bucket, 0.62 at the airport. So yes, Philadelphia at the moderate range for the rainfall. The most rainfall, as Steve mentioned, southern New Jersey, even up toward central New Jersey, but now getting a break as some drier air works into the region. But we do have a low pressure system just off the coast of New Jersey. This low is strengthening. It's moving through very quickly, but we're still going to be feeling the effects of this overnight tonight. And then our upper level storm is back in the Tennessee Valley in Kentucky, where it's all snow and even some heavier snows in this area around Kentucky and Virginia. Some areas more than a foot of snow. So it's all rain for us right now, dry rain northward in northern New Jersey, and a mixture of rain and even some sleet right around Harrisburg into Reading. And this is really the outlook. We're going to stay all rain, New Jersey and Philadelphia, a mix of rain, snow, and sleet, maybe 1 to 3 inches in the Poconos, possibly 3 to 6 in the northern Poconos, and then heavier snow off to the west in western Pennsylvania. In the 40s at this hour, 30s off to the north and west from Lancaster through Harrisburg. Now, it is a battle at the shore. We do have storm warnings in effect, which are winds up to about 55+ miles per hour all the way down to the Delaware Bay. Then it turns over to a gale warning where winds are about 39 miles per hour. Let's check your forecast. Tonight and overnight, cloudy, rain, windy, low around 42, and that's actually probably going to be around our high, and then temperatures are going to be dropping through tomorrow through the 40s. So morning rain, the colder air in here, changing over to some snow showers, but not looking at any accumulation really. And windy weather, once again, northwest winds 10 to 20. Here's your extended outlook. We have the rain changing over to snow showers tomorrow, and then windy on Wednesday, partly cloudy though the rest of the week, very cold by Thursday, but dry for the Mummers Parade.
For local forecast.
A storm system that dumps snow on the southeast is moving northward up the eastern seaboard, bringing with it rain, snow, and wind. Good evening and welcome to WeatherScope. I'm Kim Perez. Now, for more information on this nor'easter, we turn to Jeff Morrow in the Forecast Center for a complete update.
Kim, this is turning out to be quite a storm system. Right now, New York City under a high wind warning for the next 2 hours. That'll take us up to midnight. Winds of up to 75 miles an hour have been reported. That's hurricane force, folks, out on Long Island. No report of exactly where that happened. I would guess that it would probably be along the coast. But with those kinds of winds, there's going to be some trees down because of the saturated ground, and also some power outages as some power lines probably start coming down as well. Very, very high winds. But it's very interesting. Those winds will die down very abruptly, and we'll show you a good example of that coming up in just a moment. The storm also has snow and, of course, plenty of rain. Let's show you what it looks like on the big picture first of all as we put the satellite radar composite on into motion. Lots of moisture now surging into New England and even wrapping on up here into northeast Pennsylvania, upstate New York. And a second batch of moisture coming right on up through the Delmarva Peninsula and on up into central Pennsylvania. We've had some reports of heavy snow the last couple of hours at Martinsburg, West Virginia, and also at Hagerstown, Maryland. Here are some of the snowfall tallies we've had since early this morning. Again, Renwick, West Virginia leading this list, but we've had unofficial reports of up to 14 or 15 inches in western Virginia and eastern West Virginia, and even down to Charlotte, 3 inches. And earlier today, right here in Atlanta, Georgia, we had 1 inch of snow. Now, in the thick of both the snow and the wind and the rain, we have 2 live crews in Bedford, PA, and also up at Sandy Hook, New Jersey. Let's go to the snow aspect of the storm. First of all, Jim Cantori, that heavy snow's just to your south. Has it picked up there any at all?
Jeff, it has picked up a little bit. We're probably about 3/4 of a mile snow fog. Not quite moderate snow, but a very, very steady light snow. And you can see here behind me, it's basically covered the grounds and the roads as well. As we talked with the emergency management director just last half hour, he said the roads are treated, the roads are fine. This isn't anything too abrupt. But of course, if we start to see an increase in the snowfall rates, as we always tell you about, that's when things get a lot trickier here. I want to show you the effect, if you will, of some of the salt on the roads as we take our mass cam shot. And you're looking down away from me right now, but there are, of course, some spots which are wet along the roads, and that's, of course, the salt which has taken effect. We haven't seen a salt truck come by in a while, so the snow that is coming down is actually piling up over some of the roads here. But again, a snowfall that's generally light and very, very powdery in texture. This isn't the kind of snow that you make snowmen with, but certainly ones that skiers certainly enjoy. We got 2 inches on the ground here, Jeff, and obviously a far cry from the 12 to 18 that was expected, so we're not going to be dealing with any of that. But still, again, folks, the most memorable effects, no doubt, this evening, sitting right along the Jersey Shore and up into southern Long Island as we go to Mike Seidel near Sandy Hook. Mike, what's the latest? Have you seen the winds die down at all?
Yes, we have, Jim. Quite a turnaround in the past half an hour. The storm is obviously now just passed off to our north. It was out to sea to our east as it came up the coast this evening. The reason we know that is about a half an hour ago we were still getting howling east to northeast winds with gusts to 60, 65 plus. Now the winds have backed around from the east and northeast, and now they're coming in and hitting me in my back, and that's a northwesterly direction. So the storm has now moved north of an east-west line from Sandy Hook. We're on the north shore of New Jersey, so it has gone by. So what we'll see the next couple of hours, Jeff and Jim, is a continuation of the wind dying off. In fact, Atlantic City now, basically the wind has gone dead calm. We'll also see the rain cut off pretty dramatically over the next couple of hours. But for you in New York City, the high wind warning continues. Most of this will be out of the way before rush hour. But again, if you travel north and west from the city, out into the hills of northwest Jersey, out into Morris, Passaic, and Sussex counties, you will run into some wet snow. But in the immediate New York City area, and here in North Jersey, this part of Jersey on the shore, it's going to be an all-rain event. Jeff?
All right, thanks, Mike Seidel. Unfortunately, that wind finally has backed off from you a little bit. Kind of interesting to see you get buffeted for that long, but looks like things are calming down a little bit now. And we want to apologize again for the air quality of that particular shot. A little bit of water in the camera lens. It was really getting driven by up to 60-mile-an-hour winds, as Mike was saying. Joining me now here in the Forecast Center, meteorologist Kevin Roth. And Kevin, kind of interesting that as the low center passed by, those winds turned around and almost shut off where Mike was.
It's almost acting like a tropical system where you have almost a dead calm in the middle. It certainly isn't a tropical system that we would normally see during a hurricane season or whatever. It is a mid-latitude storm, which is why the wind spreads out so far in advance of it. Otherwise, he would have just had maybe an hour period of the gusty winds rather than the prolonged period that he had.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and show the folks the low, graphically anyway. And there it is. And again, the actual center, and we'll be able to, in fact, let's go ahead and just take a look at the radar right now. Here is the actual center of the low. Mike located about right in there, and so the low has just moved by him, and the winds, instead of coming this direction, have now switched around toward the northwest.
And that actually is bringing some cooler air down the Hudson River Valley, and since the low is going to end up heading east of Albany, it looks now like the Capital District will end up with a lot of snow out of this rather than the change to rain we had thought before.
How much do you think in Albany?
At this point, it looks like a good 8 to 10 inches of snow, and it'll be that heavy, wet, gloppy snow coming down.
All right, let's take a closer look at a Doppler radar. And again, Mike, right here at Sandy Hook, where that little hook...
The wind, the rain, everything.
All right, a quick look at the marine warnings. There are gale warnings and storm warnings up all along the coast, and the coastal flood warnings as well. And of course, now that the wind has shifted around to the northwest, maybe not quite as big a problem there on the central and South Jersey coast. So.
Frank is here with the weather, and you've been watching those computers all night.
I certainly have, and I'm not alone, as a matter of fact.
No, that's right.
The Fox weather team is in high gear tonight, Rich and Joyce, and we're keeping our collective eye on a nor'easter over our area. Rob Garino pulls outside duty, joining us live from Atlantic City with an update on the storm's impact down the shore. What's going on, Rob?
Hey, Frank, I tell you, it's not a bad night down here. Actually, temperatures in the mid-40s. The winds have calmed down a bit. We've got the Fox weather wizard with us, and you can see here the air is just about calm, blowing at about 1 mile an hour. It was a different story earlier this evening when the winds were coming out of the east at about 45 miles an hour. The storm just passed Atlantic City to the north, and we're sort of in that eye, that calm sector right now. And again, we'll show you our weather wizard instrumentation here, and you can see just not much happening here in Atlantic City. The rain has stopped. Most folks stopping by here, taking a walk on the bulwarks, are saying, hey, it's not a bad looking night out here, as the temperature is pretty decent here for late December. However, the winds will pick up again tonight, except for they'll be coming out of the northwest, and that will pretty much end any beach erosion as the winds will blow back out to the ocean. It'll also send some of the water back out in the ocean that's piled up in the back bay. So for the most part, things have calmed down here, but it looks like a different story back up in Philadelphia and north of there. Frank?
It certainly does, Rob. Thank you very much. Barometer down to 29.09 inches. Those winds will pick up again, as Rob mentioned, very shortly. Let's take a look at the numbers. Here's how we did today. Had a high of 43. That happens to be our current temperature out there after a morning low of 27. Normals 40 and 25. Record high 72 set back in 1984. Outside at the airport, as I mentioned, it is 43. High humidity. Look at that barometer, 29.09 and falling. Northeast winds at 17, gusting to 28. We picked up 2/3 of an inch of rain at Philly International. As Rob mentioned, of course, our big concern down along the New Jersey shoreline. Storm warnings in effect still. Coastal flood warnings earlier this evening. The good news, floodwaters are subsiding overnight. High tide was between 7:30 and 8 o'clock this evening. That is now all over. Now, why didn't we see any snow today here in the city? Because the low tracked off toward our west, keeping us in the warm sector of air all during the day. The cold air still well out to our northwest, but things are going to change tomorrow. Once the low passes up to the north, we're going to start to see some of that cold air focus in on Philadelphia, and we are going to start to see some snow. We're not going to see snow at these temperatures. Look at this, 46 Millville, 43 in Wilmington and Dover, and 41 in Northeast Airport. And on a regional scale, there is cold air getting ready to pounce in on our area. Temperatures in the 20s and 30s just out to the west of us. And although we will start out the day tomorrow with temperatures in the upper 30s to right around 40, as we progress through the day, these 30-degree temperatures are going to start to scream into the area. And by New Year's Day, our overnight lows are going to be down in the lower to middle teens. So temperatures will be dropping like a rock. Here's Storm Track tonight to show you what's going on the eastern coast of the United States. You do see the cloud cover with low pressure spinning out toward our north. Another one out to our west, which will be moving through shortly. And underneath all these clouds, plenty of precipitation and really no hope for an immediate clearing of our skies. The clouds continue all the way back to near Chicago and Detroit. And here's the second wave of precipitation getting ready to make its presence felt here in Philadelphia. Radar is indicating that most of that secondary band of precipitation is snow. It's going to start out as rain and then end up as some snow showers here in the city. We're going to zoom into Fox Doppler radar. We've been tracking the storm all evening. Here's the heavy rain to the tune of maybe 2 to 3 inches in parts of New Jersey. Here's a secondary band of rain moving into southern Chester and Delaware counties right now. It will be in the city within the next 20 to 30 minutes, and then some snow showers in the morning, and that could cause some problems on area roadways, especially secondary roads could get a coating to maybe a half an inch. Windy with heavy rain down along portions of New Jersey, some lighter rain here in Philadelphia, and then the further you go to the north and west, the more snow you see. By the time you get to New York, Pennsylvania border, maybe even up to a foot of snow. Now here's that low pressure center that we showed you a little bit earlier. As it progresses up to the north, Cold air wraps around, and bingo, some snow showers for probably 2 to 3 hours early tomorrow afternoon. Here's my forecast for tonight. What you can expect: windy with occasional rain showers. Most of the heavier rain is over with a low temperature down to 36. Northeast winds kicking up to 25 miles an hour. For tomorrow, turning colder, morning rain turning over to some snow showers. A coating is likely with a high of 39, then falling temperatures. West winds at 15 to 25. For tomorrow night, partly cloudy skies, low down to 24 degrees. Down the shore, you'll have a high temperature tomorrow all the way up to 40, and in the Poconos, a high of only 34. Your 5-day weather forecast improves dramatically Wednesday, a high of 30, and if you're going out for New Year's Eve Wednesday night, low dipping down to 18 degrees. New Year's Day, stay in and watch Fox, a high of 24, a low down to 14, then Friday and Saturday, some slight improvement. So we got to get through the next 12 to 24 hours.